What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is Lynden Forest Park. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, oftentimes here on YouTube, YouTubers will do little Google Maps challenge. Here's a great way to explore new places in your local area using Google Maps, looking for fishable bodies of water and going out fishing. And that is exactly what I'll be doing out there today. I'm going to go to 3 different parks, 3 different bodies of water, spend an hour at each casting some lures, maybe some baits, see if we get on some fish. Now I do think, however, up here in Canada in the north, it is a bit different from down in the States. It can be hard to find fishable bodies of water, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's for now start with the fishing. Right, so the plan for today is going to be quite simple. I'm going to be using some small little lures, casting them around to see if we get any fish. So I'm going to be walking around trying to find fish, and I do have a second setup with me where we can put on some little worms. If I see some juicy spots or a lot of activity, we can get some worms out there to see if we can get on fish. But for now, it's just going to be casting around, walking around, looking for some good spots. So let's get to that. Alright, I've now threw an assortment of lures out there, quite a lot of grass. Need to find the things that move through the grass pretty well. But I'm quickly going to swap over to second little setup, and that's just going to be a little bobber going down to a tiny little hook with a piece of worm on there. Now I don't have any night crawlers, these are just some normal earthworms. You want them to be wiggling around like that to attract fish. Alright, ladies and gents, that is our first hour over, so it's time to move on to the next park. Alright, so our second little location, this is Scurfield Park. Now, down in the video description, in all of my videos, I normally put links to the places that I'm fishing, little Google Map links. Same for this video. Down in the description, you will find Google Map links to each of the locations we go to today. Now, whether or not this location actually has fish, that I don't know, but I'm seeing some activity, and there is a little cormorant out there. So that just tells me that maybe this is a body of water that does hold fish. So let's give it an hour of fishing, see if we get anything out there. We have a little muskrat there in the water. But I spend quite a lot of time at this little pond, focusing more on the microfishing for one simple reason. Getting quite a lot of hits, having my little bobber go down, getting the hits on the little worms keeps me throwing it out there rather than throwing lures. But as you can see, lots of grass around, very difficult to throw lures, but punching in the little holes and getting the little bites from the fish, that's exciting. That's why I've been more focused on that. But other than getting hits, haven't caught any fish yet. But like I said, spend a lot of time on that, so we're out of time now. So I think we need to start packing up, heading off to a final little destination. Alright, so our last little spot, that is Alex Bridge Park. Now this little park is right on Pembina Highway, and this particular park actually has a couple of channels that goes through to the Red River. So whether there are fish in here, I don't know, but having that channel going to the Red River means there's always a chance of getting some fish. So I'm going to throw around some lures around here. Let's see if we get anything. Alright, ladies and gents, 3 parks, 3 hours, and no fish. Now you can say that an hour is not a very long time to fish, especially when fishing a new spot. You don't know where all the structure is or where the good spots are. And I actually want to contrast today's fishing with footage from the weekend. And the wife and I made our way out to Portage Spillway. I want to show you what an hour of fishing looks like over there. Now, I wanted to do a video over there, but the rushing water was too loud, so I decided not to do a little video. The point I'm trying to make in this video is, yes, doing a challenge like this is a great way to find some new places. I have to say, I wasn't expecting to see fish in these ponds, and then all three of the ponds I actually saw fish, so it was quite surprising. But certain places are a lot better for fishing than others. Of course, Manitoba is known as the province of 100,000 lakes, but the point I wanted to make in this video is that not all bodies of water are equal. A lot of them actually freeze over and don't have fish. That is why on this channel, you're not going to see each and every little lake and pond out there in Manitoba. I'm going to try and focus on the better fishing spots. And it was a fun little video to explore some of the parks I haven't seen before. So please do give me a little thumbs up for at least trying. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting subscribe, joining my community. Alright, bit of a different type of video, but I want to thank you for following along. Like always, I'll see you next time.